What's up everybody, thanks for joining us. Today I'm going to show you 3 of my favorite food safe finishes. We're going to apply them to 3 different curly maple spreader tools that I made recently. I'm going to show you how they're different visually and tell you everything I have learned about them along the way. I thought that a lighter wood like maple and high character would be a really good way to show you some visual differences. And I've got these 2 wood spoons I made recently to, add some more fun. So side by side today we're going to show you pure Tung oil, we're going to show you linseed oil mixed with beeswax, and we're going to show you mineral oil by itself, though I would highly recommend mixing it with wax if you're actually going to use it. Mineral oil by itself looks really nice but washes out really quickly. They actually make these 2 products mixed already, something like this Howard Butcher Block conditioner. Mine's on its last leg, so I didn't think it would be a good representation of it as a finish. I gotta order more, but I might just mix them together myself. Let me know what your favorite finish for wood utensils is in the comments. I know that I got some more investigating to do with walnut oil, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be using some relatively lint-free pieces of a t-shirt here, just little scraps of clean cloth to apply these. First up, we got pure Tung oil, food grade from Walrus Oil brand. This stuff is amazing. This is my #1 finish for durability and repelling water. If you have the patience to build coats of this stuff and you're not averse to the smell, it's a very strong smell, then it's going to be the #1 contender for a food safe finish, in my opinion. This stuff is known to color lighter things, especially kind of an amber color, maybe a little reddish hue to it. We'll see if we can spot any differences compared to the other finishes, and I'm going to show you different lightings and different comparisons throughout the video to try to give you a good idea. So, unlike mineral oil, Tung oil and linseed oil are both polymerizing oils, meaning as they cure, they actually harden and sort of behave even better than a wax at keeping water out, literally locking it out of the piece. That is a good segue to our next contender, which is tried and true original wood finish. This one is a personal favorite, and I think that visually it is #1. And it's close to Tung oil for holding up pretty well too. Durable, water repellent. I like to heat mine up either in a water bath or the microwave very carefully to get it to penetrate further into the piece. You can see this stuff actually looks like beeswax, and it really brings out the character of the wood more than any other finish almost, I think. I've been experimenting with this for a while in my own kitchen, and it is very durable, but sometimes when you really introduce a lot of heat, the wax is a little bit mobile, and it can actually cloud up the piece and make it look more unfinished than it actually is. But you can generally buff the wax on the outside back to a shine, so that's pretty neat. This stuff cures up harder, just like Tung oil does over the course of weeks, and will eventually dry to be odorless or mostly odorless. Personally, I find the smell of this stuff to be way better than the Tung oil. So here you go, nice side by side of Tung oil and the linseed and beeswax combination. If you have a keen eye, you might be able to see more of a reddish color on the Tung oil. Otherwise, looking pretty similar here. There is certainly nothing wrong with the way Tung oil makes the piece look, in my opinion. It's just a little bit more of a matte finish rather than glossy. So last and perhaps least is mineral oil. Now this one's really good to recommend to people that do not do woodworking, don't want to wait for a long cure time, just want to wipe it onto the piece and have it instantly look better. That's mineral oil's role to me at this point. It looks really nice, leaves a really smooth feeling surface. Good tactile feel, but yeah, washes out really quickly. If you want to use it, you can add a food grade wax or get a mixed oil and wax situation instead. Mineral oil by itself is not going to polymerize or harden in the piece. It's not going to repel water very well, and it's going to get washed out pretty quickly. Better for items infrequently used, I think. So as we're finishing this up, I'll tell you about the drying process for these. Generally, you want to let the oils penetrate the piece for maybe an hour or so, then you want to come back, wipe off the excess, and then you want to set the pieces to cure. So for linseed and Tung oil, you want to give them a couple weeks, let them dry to odorless. Ideally, you can use them before that if you really want to. Just won't be quite as durable. And then mineral oil, you might want to put a second coat on after 48 hours or so. You might notice that the piece looks a little dry. So we got our Mineral oil on top, our tung oil in the middle, our linseed and beeswax on the bottom. We're going to let these guys absorb for an hour or so, then buff them dry, make some final comparisons. We're going to put our number one finish on these spoons as well. Get some tung oil on these walnut spoons that I made recently. This one that I'm holding now, I think I would feel comfortable selling or gifting. It came out pretty well. Mind you, neither of these ever touched sandpaper. This is strictly carving and card scrapers help me smooth things out. What we're going to do is we're going to burnish them too instead of sanding. And you guys in the comments tipped me off. Maybe I want to try burnishing after putting the oil in. I'm going to see how I like that, see if I can notice any differences, and keep on learning because that's what I like to do. This spoon gave me a lot of trouble. The grain is going every which way, but as you can see, it's pretty beautiful. It's got this sapwood creeping in kind of feel to it everywhere. It's like very mottled with the sapwood. Very cool looking. But yeah, it was kind of a nightmare to carve. As a result, a lot of marks on it, so I ain't gonna sell that one. All right, here we go. Everything's looking great. Ready to let it dry for a while. Check in a bit. Went ahead and buffed all these with a clean cloth, and I scrambled the order on you. So you guys want to try to guess at which is which? Give you a couple seconds here, and then we'll show you the answers. So we got linseed oil and beeswax on the top, mineral oil in the middle, tung oil on the bottom. Not much difference visually. Each one is going to make your piece look much, much better than unfinished. Just a matter of how they hold up. So when you are working with polymerizing oils, please do not put all of your rags into a pile because as these oils dry, they can release heat and they can actually spontaneously combust. So spread your rags out like that, let them harden up before you throw them away. Don't just throw them right in the trash can. So now everything's drying. We're gonna check back in visually later, see if we can spot any differences, but in the meantime, we're gonna burnish these wood spoons. What we're doing is taking a super smooth stone here, and you'll notice that things are gonna get way shinier on each side after I hit them with the rock. So check this out. And you can see it shine right up as we smash all those pores closed. Pretty much the opposite of what we're doing when sanding. The idea is water cannot get in, and you're gonna notice a huge difference as you handle the spoon as well. It's super smooth. Feels like you sanded it to 600 or so. So I'm gonna take some time to burnish these up. The first burnishing, I'll probably do it a second time at some point, but feel free to skip ahead to a final look and visual comparison of those three finishes. All right, here we go. We got different light. Let's make some new comparisons. On the top, we got mineral oil. On the bottom, we got the linseed oil and beeswax, the tried and true mix. Both are looking pretty good. Tried and true, a little bit shinier, I would say. Next, we're going to take a look at the Tung oil versus the tried and true. Now that they're a little more dry, you can kind of see more of that amber, that reddish color on the top one, which is the Tung oil. And then now I got a shot much later of all three. These have dried significantly more. You can see on the right we have the mineral oil, and it looks a little more matte now, not quite as shiny. That's pretty common with the mineral oil. The Tung and the linseed will keep a little more shine, and the linseed in the middle is pretty cool because at any point you can buff it with a clean cloth and bring back the shine. I hope you liked this style video. I know it was a lot of words, a lot of information. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments. You guys rock. Thanks for watching.